Welcome, everyone. If we haven't met, my name is Laura Smith, and I'll be filling in this Kabbalat Shabbat service while the rabbis are away on 2 weeks of much-needed vacation. As always, we are praying tonight out of Mishkan Tefillah, or if you are online, you can download our virtual Siddur at TempleSinaiReno.org. I just have to note that even though the rabbis are away tonight, they did leave us a gift on the Bima, in case anyone's interested, How to Become a Federal Criminal, an illustrated handbook for the aspiring offender. I'm not sure why it's here, but just bear that in mind, I guess, for future interactions.
It'll be on the Bima if anyone is interested.
Rabbi Benjamin's plans can be found at TempleSinaiReno. Okay. We begin tonight on page 8 together. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. Thank you. It is my pleasure now to call up Jay and Amy Goldberg to kindle our Shabbat lights. If you are following along, our blessing can be found on page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We turn at this time to page 332 to open our Shabbat singing. This is a version of Yedid Nefesh from Ariel Volpe. So if you are lost in the first verse, it repeats for the remainder. Just join in when you can. And as Rabbi Sarah always says, Yailai gets full credit. Yedid nefesh shafarachaman meshoch avdecha eretzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo haya yishachaveh el muhadarecha Yeravo yeridutecha yararararairai minofetsu vechotam yairararai yairararai yairarararairai Hadur na'eh ziv ha'olam. Nafshi cholat ahavtecha. Hanael marefana. Beharada. Noam zivcha. Az titchazek v'titrape. Yadadadadai. V'haita la simchat olam. Vatihemu rachamecha v'chusana ben ahuvecha ki ze kama nichsaf chilirot betiferet Uzecha Ana Elichem dat libi Yadadadadai Chusana ve'amatitalam Yadadadai Higalena Ufros chavivi alai etzukat shelomecha tahir eretz mikvodecha nagila venismecha bach maher ahuv ki hamoed yadadadadai v'chonenu ki me'olam How wonderful it is to be together, to be in community, and to share our voices. We turn back to page 12 and begin our reading through Psalms tonight with Lehu, Lehu, Leranina. Lechu, lechu, neranena Adonai. Nari aletzur yishenu. Lechu, lechu, neranena Adonai. Nari aletzur yishenu. It's all lies. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. We sing a new song on page 13. And if you are feeling brave, you can help make this a round if you know the second part. Otherwise, you are welcome to just keep repeating the first two lines until we run out of steam. Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz. Again, Shiru Adonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai Barechu Shemo Bazru Me'om Le'om Yeshuato. Shiru Adonai Barechu Shemo Bazru Me'om Le'om Yeshuato. To the top. Shiru Adonai Shiru Shir Chadash. Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Adonai Shiru Shir Chadash. Shiru Adonai Kol Haaretz. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz. Yishpotei ve'tzedek ve'amim ve'emunato. Or zaruach latzadik u'yishrei lesimcha. Or zaruach Kabbalat Shabbat, Yisrael Simcha. Oy zaru ala tzadik, Yisrael Simcha. Oy Yisrael Simcha. Oy zaru ala tzadik, Yisrael Simcha. Oy Yisrael Simcha. We are now on page 16. Zamru Adonai Bechinor. Oh, that's really high. Let's not do that. Nope. Zamru Adonai Bechinor. Bechinor B'kol Zimra. B'chatzotzrot B'kol Shofar. Haru Lifnei HaMelech Adonai. Yiram Hayom Lo. Tevel V'Yosheva. You know what? I did practice this one earlier, and I promise it worked. But it's not going to work right now. So let us just say, sing praise to Adonai with a lyre and whatever melodious song you have. But this is not the one for right now. Let's do something we can do. We're on page 17 here. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Mizmor leDavid, havu Adonai b'nei Elim, havu Adonai kavod va'oz, havu Adonai kevod shemo hishtachavu Adonai becharat kodesh kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim kol Adonai Bakoa kol Adonai behadar kol Adonai shover arazim v'shaver Adonai erartze halmanon v'yar kirehem kemo egel anon v'siryon kemo v'nre'emim kol Adonai chotze lavodesh kol Adonai yachil midbar yachil Adonai midbar kadesh kol Adonai yechol elayalot v'yechesof Yeharot v'echal kulo u'merkavod Adonai b'mabu yashav v'yishev Adonai melech le'olam Adonai os le'amo yiten please join me at this time on page 20 for Lecha Dodi as we welcome our Sabbath bride. As is our Temple Sinai custom, we will sing verses 1 to 5 and 9. And for the final verse, if you are able, please rise and turn to face our exterior doors to welcome in our Kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai. Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai. Shamor bezachor beitibur echad. Ishmi'anu el hamiyuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad L'shemo tiferet veli tehila Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor ha'baracha merosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai hitoreri ki ha'oreku mihori uri shir daberi kevod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam besimcha u'betola toch emunei ham segula boi chala Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai Lecha dodi likrat kala yadarai 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 pnei Shabbat nekabelai. Stay standing for Hatzikash. Yitkadosh Shmei Rabbah V'yalmad yivrach Yerotev Yamik Malchutei B'chayechon v'yom echon U'chayetecho b'et Yisrael Bagala U'bizman kariv yimaru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'me'amaya yitbarach ve'yishtabach Bahar Vitromam Vaitnase Vitar Shmed Kudashabriu Leila Min Kobirkata Veshirata Tushbechata Vnechemata Ta'amiran Biama Yimaru Amen. Barhu is on page 28. Yai, dai, dai, yai, dai, dai, dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 dai. Yai, dai, 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 Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Olam Vaed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vaed. Thank you. Let's see. We turn to page 31 and read together at the top. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide current of day and night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. And at the bottom of page 32, please join. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. The Shema can be found on page 34. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta is found on the very next page. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha. Ve'hayu ha'dvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzadecha Hayom Al Vadecha Veshinantam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam V'shivtecha B'beitecha Uv'lechtecha V'derech Uv'shochbecha Uv'kumecha Ukshartam le'ot al yadecha, ve'hayu le'totafot bein einecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. We read together at the top of page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together, all the way to page 40. Yay, la 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 מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלי, נורא תהילות אוסף אלי. מלאותך ראובנך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, ילדוני עמו לעולם ועד, אדוני עמו לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, גאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We have crossed over the sea, whether just from a long week or perhaps something much more trying. The flight is over and we can slow ourselves down and prepare for rest. We read in the English on page 42. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. The Shamar can be found on page 44. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל, עוד Oti leolam, oti leolam, veshamru, b'nei Yisrael, et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. I will think about maybe one day doing the Macarena while we do that. But in the meantime, we prepare ourselves spiritually for the Amidah on page 46. Please stand in body or spirit as you are able. As always, when we are done reading communally, you may continue silently until page 26 and sit whenever your meditation is complete. Adonai sefatai tiftachu fi agitecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, El HaGadol, HaGibor v'HaNorah, El Hayam, Gonel Chazak Tovim, V'Koneh HaKol, V'Zocher Chasei Avot Neimahot, U'mevii Geula Lifnei Bnei Adam, L'ma'an Shemo v'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshea, Mashiv haruach u'morid hakoshem, Mechakel chayim b'chesed, Mechaye hakol b'rachamim rabim, Somech noflim le'rofei chorim, U'matir asurim, U'mechayim emunato v'shanei afar, Michamocha ba'gehurat, U'midom elach, Melech minit u'mechayim, U'matzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah ha'chayot ha'kol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yahaylucha selah. Adonai, Ose shalom imromav huya ase shalom. Alinu ve'ako Yisrael ve'meru. Amen. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and the strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of this Torah, and let their children who do not yet know it hear, that they too may learn to revere Adonai your God. At this point, Temple Sinai tradition holds that we would have a Torah service, but tonight we are just going to talk Torah rather than bringing our scroll out. We know, however, that across our time zone, scrolls are open up and down the hemispheres. And with those out, let us ask for healing for those in need. We are thinking tonight, especially of Laura Bartleson, Kathy Bartlett, Tracy Bartlett, Borsoff, Sue Burkhammer, Laura Cohen, Robert Dickens, Ellen Gordon, Stephen Gould, Margaret Haberlin, Marlene Harris, Harvey Higdon, Kevin Knox, Dave Levine, Harav Miriam Bat Shifra Pinchas, Harav Miriam Yael Chaya Bat Sarah, Tim Ober, Judy Ramos, J. Martin Rolnick, Sarah Bat Chava, Marion Schenker, Steve Weidman, Robbie Wells, Leah Wilds, Usher Zalich, everyone affected by the coronavirus, and the Jewish and other communities of Ukraine. If there are other names you would like to raise up tonight, please, if you are online, do mention them in the comments so they can be shared. And if you are here, you are welcome to share them now.
Howard Sarah. Melissa Peters.
Our prayer for healing can be found on page 253. Mishevirach Avoteinu Mekor HaBracha find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say, Amen. Our blessing for the study of Torah can be found on page 86. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, to occupy ourselves with the study of Torah. So, if you know our family, you know that we have a preschooler. So the plan was that Aaron was going to come talk some Torah with you, but he is home being an excellent dad tonight. So he sent his drash in, and I will read it, and we'll just have to pretend that I'm very charming and very bald. He sends love. Shabbat Shalom. Oh, I should mention, because it doesn't come up in here, that were we reading tonight, we would be reading the first parsha out of Leviticus. So this is us in our first bit of, please set your she-goats over here and your doves over here and your rams in the back, and none of them make it out. So, Shabbat Shalom. Depending on which survey you look at, as few as a quarter and as many as 3/4 of American adults haven't read a book in the past year. While our household makes a valiant attempt to read, given the presence of said almost 4-year-old in our midst, the majority of books we consume tend to be made with thick cardboard pages covered in gorgeous illustrations, and the words rhyme more often than not. Usborne's Look Inside Your Body has been the most recent favorite, complete with our kids' adorably demonstrative pronunciations of big words like esophagus and duodenum, along with elaborate descriptions of our 5 senses and how they differ from those of other animals. Through much repetition, we'll never forget that an eagle can see over 3 times as far as we can, but even more remarkably, a dog's nose can smell over 10,000 times as sensitively as our noses do. As a household that firmly believes that dogs are, on the whole, closer to divinity than most humans, this deserves attention in light of this week's Parshat Vayikra's incessant obsession with aromas that please Adonai. So if you haven't had the great fortune to read through Leviticus yet, there are many, many things that you burn, and then the text assures you that this is a soothing savor or a pleasing aroma to the Most High. Back to Josh. Repetitions in Torah indicate significance, and the words reach nichoach, a pleasing aroma, are repeated 9 times in this portion, all in relation to various korbanot, or ritual sacrifices we no longer perform as dictated. The number 9 is less obvious to us numerologically than the 7 days of a week or the 8 days of many of our holiday observances, but the number 9's gematria is taught to signify emet, or truth. While it may be hard to believe that burning recently slaughtered animal blood, entrails, and feathers would be a pleasing aroma to any being, visible or invisible, Torah unambiguously states that these are indeed aromas that are pleasing to God and redeemable for many categories of forgiveness and sin. For us humans, who might prefer the pleasing aromas of things like roses and freshly baked bread, our own relationship to smell is functionally essential for telling rotten food from edible food. As a sense famously tied to memory, I'll, meaning Aaron, will never forget taking part in a coffee tasting where we weren't allowed to speak about our impressions of the smells and tastes of the various cups of coffee. But multiple tasters noted in writing that one particular cup had a smell that was reminiscent of Thanksgiving dinner at a grandparent's house. While we might not be able to smell from the distances that dogs can, and it's probably for the best that we don't greet each other with invasive sniffs the way the dogs do, smell can give us strong intuitive reactions of both comfort and danger, order and chaos. Rabbi Shai Held asserts that God's joy in ritual sacrifice and its relation to smell is an expression of the divine value of social order and the potential for community ritual to help make sense of a chaotic, dangerous world. While the Parsha goes through many categories of sacrifice based on social class, individual versus collective sin, and other attributes, Rabbi Held observes that in almost every case of sin, the word im is used to imply if someone sins, but in the case of major leaders, the word asher is used, implying when they sin rather than if they sin. Since power corrupts and the sins of leaders are more inevitable than any other category of sin. Therefore, society can only experience harmony if leaders are held accountable for their sins and that no person is held above the law. It's a notable quality of our foundational text, in contrast to many of the world's religious traditions, that Moses is not a divine character and that he is punished for his flaws and misdeeds. The sacrificial instructions in this portion mandate that we continue to hold leaders accountable for crimes they commit in order to maintain order so that we don't end up empowering an oppressive Pharaoh figure of our own making. With Passover coming up, and as we differentiate ourselves from our oppressors, we remind ourselves that this portion also mandates that we each share in the sacrifices for our collective sins as a community. We would never forget the importance of especially forgiving sins committed unwittingly, just as we would with our children when they make earnest mistakes, and that we all have a part in doing what we can to create the pleasing aroma of comfort and order through Torah, Avodah, and Gemilut Chasidim, Torah, service, and acts of loving kindness. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Good job. At this time, we turn to page 282 for Alinu, and I would love to call up Ron Seidowitz to open our ark door so we can see our beautiful scrolls. Aleinu leshabeach la'aton ha'kol la'atei tefillah yotzei bereshit shelo asanu k'yei ha'aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo sam Elokeinu ka'am v'gor aleinu Bechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlechim, hakadosh baruch. Page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye, when we all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled, Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai
Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echa.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We are thinking tonight especially of Anita Goldwasser, Lorenzo Otero, Roberta Smallrich, Edward Gingold, Cookie Javinsky, Carl Weinberg, Elle Grossman, Jeff Blank, Richie Zorn, Catherine Linsky Foley, Hank Froelich, Setsuko Olenichek, Barbara Gonzalez, Aaron Yosef, Tova Batmeyer Vetirtsa, Raymond Russell Riker, Judith Tamkin, David Torsman, and also the yard sites this week of Roberta Smallrich, May Baroches, Rose Dvorkin, Emmanuel Halpern, Ken Hecht, Aaron Korn, David Monroe Alexander, Ayelet Cohen McDonald, Florence Gerber, Jonathan Grossman, Ellen B. Levine, Martin Friedlander, Anna Kaplan, Rachel Silvershire, George Freeman, Lillian Goldstein, Donna Matlis, and Shirley Kazin. If there are names that you would like to share and you are online, please do add those in the comments so we can be with you in community. And if you are here in person and you have a name to raise up, please do so as my eyes meet yours. If it is your custom to remain standing for Martyrs Kaddish, you may. If you have another, that is also fine. Page 294. Yit Gadal, Yit Kadash, Shmei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Hirote, Vayamlik Malchute, V'chayechon, Uvyomechon, Uvchaye, Techol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevarach, Leolam Ulamei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishbach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithale, V'yithalel, Shmei T'kudusha, B'rihu, Leila, Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Ta'amiran, V'yama, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Alinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimramav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru, Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. You may be seated. All right, it is time for temple announcements. So I always forget, and I don't want to forget tonight. So thank you tonight for our greeters, Jay and Amy Goldberg, for our live stream tech, among so many other roles, Michael Gorden, and of course, all of you for being here. We need more volunteers. If you would like to be a Torah chanter for us, that's 3 lines at a time, nothing like your bar mitzvah portion. 3 lines. Please contact the rabbis or Marilyn Roberts or myself. We would love to get you plugged in for our next calendar year as we start looking into the fall. We need more live stream texts. You can talk to Michael Gordon at any time. I'm sure he would love to get you going on that. Do join us after services for Grab and Go Egg tonight if you are in person, and if you are online, stick around and join on the Yisma Zoom that Chris and Laura Ashkin so graciously host each week. If you are online, that's at sinarino.org/live for the details of how to log into the Zoom. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., Torah study is happening via Zoom, starting at Exodus 4:20, not like the other one. For details, visit, you guessed it, sinarino.org/Torah study. Moving forward, in-person onegs are back when we have sponsors. So if you would like to host an oneg, you can sign up online at sinarino.org/oneg. Or if you're an analog person and you're here tonight, there is a paper sign up in the social hall next to the kitchen doors. Sunday, March 19th, there's no Sinai school, which means also no family service, but please come back. We already passed that. Oh, this is the right one. Just there wasn't any last week in case you wanted to know about that. Okay. Yep. Okay. April 1st, which is a Saturday, so not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Please join us at the very particular time of 4:05 p.m. for Matthew Slamowitz's Bar Mitzvah project at the Reno Aces game to benefit the ADL and FCAS. He's a really sweet kid, and they're good groups, and we love the Reno Aces, so hope to see some of us there. And final reminder that Wednesday, April 5th, is the Temple Sinai Community Passover Seder at the Atlantis. The deadline for tickets is March 29th, and correct me if I'm wrong, but today is the 24th, so just a few more days to get tickets. Two more things before we close. The Beyond Words Book Club is still accepting members. You can look on the sinarino.org/library page for details. And if you are or you know of anyone who would appreciate deliveries of books from our Temple Sinai Jewish Library, please let the Restories Committee know at sinarinolibrary@gmail.com so they can get books to them. And that's all we have for that. We will close tonight with Ein Adir on page 328. Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. Ein Adir K'Adonai, V'en Baruch K'Ven Amram. Ein Gedolah K'Torah, V'en Darshanecha K'Yisrael. Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, En Hadur K'Adonai, V'en Vati K'Ven Amram, Ein Zaka K'Torah, V'en Chachamecha K'Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Ein Tahor K'Adonai, V'en Yachi K'Ven Amram, Ein Kabira K'Torah, V'en Lamdanecha K'Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Ein Borek Adonai, V'en Tzadi K'Ven Amram, Ein Kedosha K'Torah, V'en Tomchecha K'Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael, Mipiel, Mipiel, Yevorach Kol Yisrael. All right. It looks like juice and bread is in the hall. So we will in the social hall tonight. So we will head down there for Kiddush. All right. If you are online, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Join the Yisma Zoom and get to know some people. And the rest of us will travel.